Hey guys, Welsknight here, and welcome back to another episode from the Pixelmon Let's Go server. I hope you guys are having an awesome day. I'm having a fantastic day. I have been breeding and breeding and breeding. So this is all the pairs of things that I have been breeding. I've been breeding 4 pairs of dittos just to get random eggs. I'm starting to breed up wing gulls, which is it evolves into Pelipper, and it becomes probably the best rain setter in the game. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. So I'm breeding those up. I've been breeding Chanseys. I've been breeding those Larvatars, and I think I'm about ready to stop breeding the Chanseys and the Larvatars for now. I think I have enough of each that I can kind of set them aside for the time being. But what I want to start breeding up next, I have created a couple of water type breeding pens over here. I want to start breeding up Marils, which evolves into Azumarill. And Azumarill's a really cool Pokemon, one of my favorites, and a very competitive Pokemon as well. What I like about it is that it is very, very versatile. There's a couple different ways that you can run Azumarill. You can run Azumarill as like a super powerful physical attacker because it gets the ability Huge Power. You can also run it as a what's called a Perish Trapper because it can learn Whirlpool, which basically prevents your opponent from switching out, and it can also learn Perish Song, which basically makes anything that hears it faint within 3 turns. Ooh, I need to get one of these too. This Pukumuku. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time over here on the beach trying to catch things. Also, I see down here, those look like water stones. Like water stone shards. Let's find, are they? Because if so, I actually need these really bad because I want to make the water stone shard armor so that I can actually like breathe underwater and do stuff underwater. That's totally what these are. Oh, fantastic. Okay, so that's actually going to make getting Waterstone, I think I actually have enough for like 4 of them right now. So this is great. Anyway, I'm going to do some work over here on the beach, and I'll catch up with you guys in just a little bit. All right, guys, I am back. It's actually the next day. I was able to find Azumarills, or actually Marils, and I've been breeding them. And I want to talk very briefly about the idea of what I call chain breeding, or what is commonly referred to as chain breeding. And that is basically the idea that you can't always get everything you want from one place. So I'm currently breeding up these 2 Marils. One of them is the IVs. EM stands for egg move, and AJ is just a shorthand for the egg move in question, which is Aqua Jet, and then BD for belly drum. So these are 2 separate egg moves that I want. That's just my way of notating it to myself. But basically, Maril cannot learn Aqua Jet, nor can it learn belly drum naturally. You have to breed to get those moves. So I bred my Marils before with, where are all my water types? Here we go. I bred one of my Marils with this Politoed who knows belly drum, and that made the baby that knows belly drum. And then I also bred one of them with this seal that knows Aqua Jet. And what that did is that gave me 1 baby that knows belly drum and 1 baby that knows Aqua Jet. So now when I breed these 2 together, the baby will have both of those 2 egg moves. I also am going to need to breed for nature. So once I have a female Maril that knows both Aqua Jet and belly drum, then I need to find a water Pokemon that it can breed with. It doesn't matter which one, as long as it's in the, I think it's the water 1 egg group. As long as it's in the same water egg group, I need to find a male with an adamant nature, because I want this to be an adamant Maril. But that's kind of the idea of chain breeding. You can't always get everything you want from one place. So sometimes you have to take a little bit from this guy and a little bit from this guy and combine them. And then ultimately, over the course of several generations of baby Pokemon, you can eventually get what you want. So I'm going to take this egg and I'm going to hatch these guys up. I've also got some other stuff breeding as well. I've started breeding Wingulls. I think I already showed you these guys. I think I already showed you that I'm breeding up Wingulls. But I've also started breeding up Gibbles and Bagons. So these guys will ultimately... You should be breeding... Yeah, okay. I guess it just looks a little funky. I don't know where the baby Bagon is for this pen. Maybe he's just invisible right now for some reason. Anyway, these guys will become Salamances, and these guys will become Garchomps, both of which are very, very good. So anyway, I've got a whole bunch of eggs to hatch. I've got all of these to hatch, and then these 3 are all just Ditto eggs. And this batch of Wingull eggs should be done any minute. But today, today for me, yesterday for you guys, was also the day... Is that a Ditto? No, it's a Nidoran. Was also the day where we opened up Ultra Space, which is part of the new update. That's part of the Generation 7 stuff that was added with this most recent update. And it's essentially an extra dimension that you can explore. It's got some special loot that you can only get from Ultra Space. It's got some beasts that you can only catch from Ultra Space, except that's not entirely true. You can only catch them there, but it is possible to hatch them out of Ditto eggs, like this guy. This guy's an Ultra Beast. He hatched from a Ditto egg. I didn't catch him. I hatched him. So, yeah. But anyway, we decided to open it up as a group and go in for the first time as a big group and all that kind of stuff. And I've got probably about an hour and a half worth of footage, but I'm not going to show even close to all of it. I'm just going to hit a couple of the highlights, and then we'll do a little bit of a recap. But in the meantime, I'm going to hatch some eggs. You guys enjoy the Ultra Space stuff that I did with the people who were in my group, with Nebrus and some of the other guys, and I'll catch up with you in just a little bit.
Hello everybody, and welcome to the umptieth event of the Pixelmon Let's Go server. We are going to be going to the Ultra Space today with portals and wormholes and...
That's how you think with portals?
Yes, probably. Sort of. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Totally.
So, turns out, Palkia can make a portal, but when he makes a portal and somebody goes through it, portal disappears. And, it takes 12 minutes for him to regain his juice to be able to make another portal.
Gross.
It makes a portal to juice.
Lazy.
Shh. So, we're gonna do magic. But we'll all be there in a cut.
Give it
Everyone
jump!
Portal.
There's a portal, like it's above you.
Whoa!
Oh, there he is.
That is very cool.
That's pretty
First. Oh no! Go down!
Everybody, get on your
Dang
bird!
What is a beach ball?
What's a
Ball's
baseball?
a beast ball is like one of the ultra ball loots that we get in the overworld.
It will
nice.
either give you a memory or a Z crystal.
Yeah, Z crystals are for the Z moves.
So Nebrus, did you hear that anything you catch here has twice the normal chance of having its hidden ability?
That's
Ooh,
awesome.
Really?
Yep, and twice the normal chance of being shiny.
I got a beast ball.
Assuming
I don't know what that is, but cool.
assuming the configs
Ooh,
are
keep
set to
that
the default.
Yeah, what's the coordinates?
Honestly, I think it should be more than 1 in 75. Like
I agree.
Um,
I'd love to have it set to like
I might live here then, if that's the case.
set it to like a 25% chance. Wait, is that
Good, you tell them, Nell.
Oh, that's a
Is that
Snivy.
a...
Oh, baseball. Baseball.
Oh, contrary.
Overgrow.
Kill it.
Psychium.
I think I'm still gonna capture it just because I don't have it yet.
If you don't,
But
Don't have what?
yeah, I want a contrary one too. I'm with you.
I'm following Wells right now because I'm scared.
I'm using a map to find places that we haven't been yet. So
I have just took off in a completely random direction.
I
know
am
how that works
searching
out
for
for you.
portals.
I'm not even looking at the map. I'm just running.
That's what
I
I'm
can
doing.
see it now. Like 3 minutes from now, Doll's gonna be like, "Hey guys, I'm lost. Where are you?"
You say that, but I now have a ground EMZ, a psych EMZ, a fight EMZ, and a fly EMZ. I'm doing something.
And you still have that funny accent too.
Wow. Out of nowhere.
And a ghost EMZ. Suck it, Wells.
What?
A ghostium.
I'm sorry, I couldn't understand a word you said, my friend. It's a move relearner. I've been looking for one of these guys for an absurd amount of time. And one of the guys that I need to teach him is breeding at the moment. Dang it.
Dal, are you lost yet?
That depends.
Depends on your definition of lost. Is that what you're
Yes.
insinuating?
No,
Do
depends.
you understand where you
I'm
are?
not at the minute because I'm not. I'm not lost because I'm not looking for anything.
You've given up.
Do I know where I am in relation to anything else? No.
Then I would probably
It's like, there's a
classify
tree
you
over
as
there.
lost. But you know,
I'm
that's
only
just
lost
me.
and I need to. I'm only lost if I need to try and get somewhere that I don't know.
Well, that's true.
I'm not lost, I'm just confused.
We're so far separated from each other at this point that like one of us would post a B-Spall in chat and it'd be like, oh,
Oh,
this is
oh.
5,000
Yeah.
blocks away.
I'm taking damage. Let's go down. So the big dirt pylon shattered dirt block things are
What?
pointless.
What?
I have no idea what you just said now.
You know the things that are like huge
I
random
don't.
dirt blocks placed all the way up to
Oh,
the
dirt.
dirt.
Okay.
I don't understand the confusion here, Wells.
Well, yeah.
Do you not pronounce dirt with a U?
I do, but I
Because
also
others say-
there's also an R and a T in it as well.
Don't-
Well, my friends, I am back from Ultra Space, and I got a fair amount of loot. A lot of it was just kind of random stuff. You know, I did catch some new guys there. I caught, let's see. I did catch a Servine, so that's new. I also caught an Alolan Sandshrew, that's new as well. What else did I get that's actually new? That might have been it. There wasn't a ton of I didn't catch too many Pokemon there. I'm just kind of looking through. Yeah, I don't think I really caught much beyond that. But the real reason that I went there was for Z crystals, and that's these things right here. And I actually got a fair amount. I got fire, fighting, fairy, grass, ice, ground, steel, and normal. All of those Z crystals. And Z crystals are basically used in combat to supercharge the power of one move. You can use them once per battle. They do not get consumed when they get used. Like you can use them again the next battle, but you can only use them once per battle, and it basically gives you a much more powerful version of a move. It like transforms it into a different one. Also, that Meryl hatched from the eggs, and you can see it does have Aquajet and Belly Drum. And I was gonna have to breed it with something for an Adamant Nature, but I actually got lucky, and it was just an Adamant Nature, because I wasn't using an Everstone on either of these guys, since neither of them had the nature that I wanted. So I just got lucky, and it just happened to roll the dice and get an Adamant Nature, and it's a female in the first attempt as well. So that's actually pretty lucky. We can start breeding this guy now with something in that egg group. Honestly, my best bet is probably to breed it with Skitty, because Skitty is in the fairy egg group. Probably breed it with like this Skitty right here, because that one has the stats that we want. So I'm just going to go ahead and put you here and you here, and we'll just get those breeding when I get back to my little breeding area. And then that'll start working us towards where we want to be, and actually getting us pretty close to having, you know, fairly perfect Merrills. The other thing that I want to do, I bred up Larvatars, and they're jolly, which is, it's okay. I would prefer an Adamant Nature on Tyranitar, because he's not super fast anyway. Jolly's like not bad. Basically, you generally want to go either Jolly or Adamant on Tyranitar. Sometimes you can make an argument for like, I don't know. I suppose you could technically make an argument for like not bold. Careful? Is it careful that's defense up? I don't know. Anyway, long story short, I want to rebreed my Larvatars to give them to be able to make adamant Larvatars as well. So I got to do a little bit of research into egg groups and figure out like what I have that has decent IVs with the right nature in its egg group and all sorts of complicated nonsense like that. But I think all in all, I am actually getting pretty close to being able to put together a team. I've actually been playing around on Pokemon Showdown, which for those of you who are unfamiliar with it, it's basically like an online browser-based Pokemon battle simulator that has all of the different Pokemon, all of the items, all the types. It's what most competitive players use to either practice battling or to team build or just to battle in general. Like there's a lot of competitive Pokemon players that only play on Pokemon Showdown because it's fantastic and it's a good place to just kind of like play around with teams and battle other people and stuff like that. So I've been playing around over there, trying out a couple teams, trying to figure out like what I want to do for the next tournament. We still don't have rules that have been announced, but even if like the rules are something ridiculous, like I don't know, you can only use baby Pokemon or something like that. Even if I plan out a team that like isn't compatible with whatever rules we decide to go with, I'll always have it for next time. I'll always have a team ready for down the road. I think team building is one of my favorite parts of Pokemon. I'm not necessarily amazing at it, but I think I'm like fairly competent, and I'm also still trying to learn all the Gen 7 stuff. But we're getting there. We're making progress. Things are happening, and it's all good. I still have a lot of things that I need to catch and breed and all that other kind of stuff. But you got to start somewhere. You got little baby steps. You end up taking little baby steps, especially with breeding. So anyway, that's kind of the progress update. I'm going to do a bit more breeding and I'll catch up with you very soon. All right, guys, I am back. It's a couple hours later and I'm hatching up a batch of eggs. This is basically the last batch, and I actually am not sure what's in these eggs. So we're going to be surprised together. But I have been working on a few things, basically my daily routine for the Pixelmon Let's Go server is basically get breeding cycles started. Oh, it's Wingulls. Oh, okay, good. Get breeding cycles started. Go do something else for an hour. Come back. Breed more things. That's basically what I've been doing all day, every day for the last, since I started playing the server. Anyway, let's just get a couple of these guys put in. Bold. I know that these guys are all bold. 3. I guess that's actually a pretty decent nature. That's 1 away. That's 1 stat away from what I want. And then finally, Ivy's 4. And that's also only 1 stat away from what I want. So that's not too bad. Bold. There we go. You do have... Oh no, this one has the wrong ability. Okay. Sorry, buddy. You're not what I'm looking for. You have hydration. You have hydration. Okay, good. I should probably double check and make sure that all of these guys have hydration. Okay, good. It's not as bad as I thought. I saw the one guy with keen eye and I was like, oh no, I ruined it. Anyway, so yeah, I've been working on a couple things in the meantime while I've been waiting for these eggs to hatch. First of all, I fought a Mega Blaziken boss over here, and it dropped a Mew-nium Z. So it dropped the Mew Z Crystal. So if I can get my hands on a Mew, I can give it the Z Crystal, and it can do some pretty crazy, powerful things. Also, that blue one, it's kind of covered up by the Haunted Tower, but there's a flower forest about 1,000 blocks from here, about 900 blocks, something like that. And I went over there and I didn't completely level it and clear it out, but I did get rid of all the trees and stuff because I was looking for a couple things. There's a couple fairy type Pokemon that spawn over there. One of them is Cottony, and this is actually another really fun Pokemon. It has Prankster, which means all status moves get priority. So status moves are basically anything that doesn't deal damage. So like growth is considered a status move. Cotton Spore is considered a status move. Thunder Wave, Taunt. There's just a whole bunch of different stuff. And this thing can learn Taunt. So it gets Prankster Taunt, which is fantastic. That means you can prevent your opponent from using status moves pretty much 100% of the time. And it also gets some other moves that can give it some pretty significant buffs. So this guy can be pretty fun to play around with. I intend to breed him up a bit. And then also, I got a Swirlix with the hidden ability, with Unburden. And this basically will boost its speed stat if it uses its held item. Now, I've been talking over, I think, this episode and also the last episode, or maybe it was just this episode, about getting Azumarill, right? And I want to get a Belly Drum Azumarill, which basically you use Belly Drum, you lose half your HP, you gain, you max out your attack. Well, this guy is also pretty good for that because you use Belly Drum, right? Maxes out your attack, and then you give him a Citrus Berry. So the instant you lose half your health, he gains a quarter of it back, which then gets rid of his held item and makes that use. So then he also gets a speed boost on top of that. Azumarill hits a little bit harder, but is a lot slower. So they're both kind of okay. Like, they're both good. I think Azumarill is probably the superior of the two if you're looking for a Belly Drum Pokemon. But it's like Swirlix isn't bad either, and it is a mono fairy type. It's not fairy water, so it's not as weak to certain things as Azumarill is. So that's one thing I've been working on. I also did go ahead and hatch a second Meryl here. So we're going to start breeding that up, and I'm working on breeding these Larvatars as well. And I should have an adamant one somewhere, but I think this is... I don't know if it comes across in the videos, but I spend an absurd amount of time breeding, and a lot of it is basically hatch a bunch of eggs, you know, move to the next level, wait an hour, hatch a bunch of eggs, repeat. So a lot of this is very tedious stuff that doesn't necessarily make for the greatest of videos. But yeah, I've been hard at work, and unfortunately I am out of time for this episode. So I do have to call this one right here. I have a couple things that I want to do though, very, very, very soon, which I think are going to be very exciting. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Links in the description below, so check that out as well. Otherwise, my friends, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.